What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. While you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. You click, you become a member. All you got to do is try to recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. Now, with that being said, we are here today with a review for Fear Street Part 3. I believe is 1966. Now, quick synopsis, we are jumping back into the past in 1966 and trying to find out what the hell started all this mess in, Shadyville, right? That's clearly what this show is about. And it's telling you about, what's her name, Sarah Fear or Fear? I don't know how to say her name, but you know what I'm talking about. The witch that they've been talking about for this damn two past episodes. So I'm gonna give it a buck. This was tight. I liked part 3 more than I liked part 2. A lot of people aren't going to agree with me, but I don't care. I really did enjoy part 3. And the reason I enjoyed part 3 was because it's basically, the best of both worlds. I loved part 1. I thought part 2 was okay. Part 3 was tight. I like those old school Salem witch trials vibes and time era pieces. Those are dope. Kind of reminded me of the Crucible. I didn't really dig the whole like recycling the cast thing, but it was all right. I guess it kind of served its purpose. It was okay. People that we're familiar with. But the fact that this movie, I was wondering too, because when we were trotting along in the movie, I'm like, yo, we about halfway through this thing, and it seems like it's kind of starting to reach an end. What the hell is going to happen? Like, I mean, and we got a lot of runtime left. So what's going to happen? Like, what's next? And Lord and behold, boom, it jumps back into present day time, and we continue to try to find a way to lift this curse from Shadyville. We knew it was going to happen. You have to, because how else would you end this series? You can't end this series with 1966. That doesn't make any sense. So once they pick back up in 1994, that's when everything starts to pop. I got all the good vibes back from the first one, and honestly, this show ended very well. It brought back most of the killers coming in there doing their thing. We have the freaking main cast doing creative things in order to try to stop them. You got a dope ass soundtrack featuring one of my favorite rap groups of all time, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. Even though that was some cliche shit that you did when you had, why I gotta be the black man that plays Bone Thugs-n-Harmony when he get introduced. I'm just saying. But anyway, his character was dope though. He was funny. The black dude with the little bandana, he was hilarious. Overall, like I quite enjoyed this show. Like the show was hidden. Like I said, the second half soundtrack was still bumping. It reached a really good conclusion. The ending hit hard. And I mean, even the part with the 1966, that trotted along very well. Now, there are some people out there that say that, it felt the kind of iffy. Certain aspects of the storyline felt kind of odd because, we have certain elements that people might not agree with, and they might think that it's being pushed. But I felt like it was done in such a manner where it wasn't too bad. But this is what I will say. I will say this. The bad thing about an agenda is that if you remove the agenda theme from the story and it does not do anything to the story, then it tends to be an agenda. Now, when they go back into the past, you have, this is a bit of a spoiler, but you have the girls in the town, they're low-key lesbians. The two girls, the girls from 1994, they're reused in the past to be lesbians in 1666. I'm just letting you know, right? And what ends up happening is that it's insinuated that this is what sparks the controversy. They see these two girls kissing and they're sinners and things like that. And they're like, we're going to put these girls to death, right? But that's not even what ends up getting them put to death. What ends up getting them put to death is somebody that's low-key hating because they didn't want nothing to do with them. And that's what ends up getting them put to death. So he lied on them on some other shit, said they was dancing with the devil or running with the devil, Van Halen, shout outs. But anyway, he said that, and that's what got them killed. That's what had the whole town looking for them. Not the fact that they were lesbians. The town seemed to forget that instantaneously. They didn't seem to give a shit anyway. Honestly, the big bad reveal, that was another thing that I didn't really expect to be to be hit with. I wasn't expecting that to be the. I mean, okay, yeah, I was expecting it to be that dude in 1966. I kind of was calling that he was probably going to be the bad guy, but at the same time, I didn't think that that was going to somehow play over into the modern times. That was a really cool way to bring it up and make it relevant to 1994. Kudos to them for doing that. Overall, like I said, the story was very enjoyable. I enjoyed part three more than I enjoyed part two. I think part one hits the hardest. I think part two, you know what? Now I'm gonna rephrase that. I think part three hits the hardest. Part one, it comes in next, and then part two is at the end. Part two dragged for me. I felt like it just didn't have that, you know. But let me see if I forgot anything. I mean, and then the way that it ends on a cliffhanger, so that you know that there's a possibility of the show returning. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind it continuing. I just would prefer a different storyline. I'm kind of like played out on the whole witch and the witch book and shit like that. Like I'm kind of done with that. Like I don't need to see no more of that. You can go a different route. I'm pretty sure that R.L. Stein made plenty of books for you to copy off of or figure it out, you know. So y'all can go ahead and play with those. But would I recommend Fear Street Part 3? Of course I will. Part 3 is dope. And if you've gone this far and you're already watching part 1 and part 2, why the hell not? Would you watch part 3? But part 3 to me is one of the better. It's one of the best. I really enjoyed it a lot. I felt like that ending was dope, and I felt like it was a really good conclusion to the trilogy. So that's my review. Let me know if you agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it in the comment section down below. You are now exiting Cinema Chop Chop. I hope you guys are having a magnificent day. And adios, homies.